Dumbo from 1941, directed by Ben Sharpstein. IMDb plot summary: ridiculed because of his enormous ears, a young circus elephant is assisted by a mouse to achieve his full potential. So this is a Disney animated film from 40s, one of their earlier works. Very short. I think it's like an hour and 2 minutes or something. But this movie is my number one because it really captures not only like a mother's unconditional love for her kid, actually her son in this film, but also that moms typically, or at least you feel that as a child from your mom, that they love you unconditionally no matter what. They love you despite your flaws, and that can actually motivate you to be the best person you can be, and your mom can be an inspiration to you, so you can achieve your greatest potential. So that to me are all things that I felt from my mom growing up. She definitely was an inspiration to me, always supportive of everything that I wanted to do. And in this film too, like the plot summary mentioned, Dumbo is a baby elephant who's mocked throughout this film of having large ears. There's even a scene very early on in the movie where some people are like kind of physically harassing Dumbo and makes the mom so mad that she attacks and protects the child. And then she gets taken away because they think she's just a crazy elephant and locked up and separated from her son, which is a really hard thing, in this movie. That's a really hard scene to see. It's really sad.
Oh gosh, can never make it through that.
Yeah, it's really sad when Mrs. Jumbo gets the baby taken away, but it shows how much she loves her son, and that it's really through that inspiration that Dumbo is able to realize his hidden talent of this flaw that everyone thinks is, he's a freak because he has gigantic ears as an elephant, even though the mom loved him anyway, but actually like he can fly, which is he again finds his strength and his uniqueness, that is, again, his mother inspires him to do this. She was always supportive of him. And in the end of the film, which is a really cool, like now he's super famous, he's, successful as a circus elephant. And he ends up getting his mom like a little card on the train, which is just, again, giving back to your mom.
So
and
cute.
Yeah, like I always loved this movie as a kid. I saw it like very, very young, and just as I'm always one of my favorite Disney films. And growing up really does, mean a lot even more to me, as I can see how all the different ways my mom has inspired me and supported me, and all the, the success or the limited success or whatever that I've had. I definitely credit a lot of that to my mom's support. And too, like as I was thinking about a lot of these movies, it was hard for me to find movies where it was a mother-son relationship that wasn't something toxic and terrible. Like a Psycho, where like a mother and a son, it's usually like the mother's horrible and the son goes crazy because of the horrible mother. This is a movie that was, I literally couldn't, think of any other ones off the top of my head where that relationship was actually a strength. It's usually like mother-daughter or father-son. Having a mother-son movie that spoke about the power and the positivity of that relationship, which I definitely feel like I had a positive relationship with my mom. I think this movie is one of the few, or the only one I could think of. Maybe there are other ones out there, but that is really just so much about that. So I really do. This movie is still just, means a lot to me. I really enjoy watching. It's an easy watch because it's only about an hour. And definitely, if folks haven't seen this, I would highly recommend watching this movie, even though, the part when Dumbo's mom gets taken away is really sad. I definitely cry every time I see that, but it's a happy ending. He gets through the train car at the end, so it all works out.
Yeah, that part is pretty excruciating.
Yeah,
I have a question for you. And by the way, I agree with everything you said. Fantastic pick. Happy to see it on the list. What was your version of large ears growing up that you think your mom unconditionally championed?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily like anything physical,
No,
but it was definitely like, I had a very
unique... I didn't mean that.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I'm just thinking of your question. Yeah, it definitely wasn't like, some sort of a physical thing I had to overcome, but definitely, I was interested in a lot of passions, computers and then film, and they're two things that weren't like typical of at least in Boston where I was growing up, like that. Those weren't, I was the kid who liked technology and or movies. There wasn't a lot of us there. And my mom was definitely, sent me to computer camp as a kid, made sure to encourage, me making movies with my sisters, and taking me to movies, and, my birthday and things like that, taking me out of school when we go to the movies and things. So she'd be supportive of these, unique interests of mine that developed into, factoring into my career, and me moving to California and all these different things, and just having that support of not kind of being, oh, well, these are the more traditional things that you have to get into, or, oh, you should be interested in like math or whatever. I mean, not that she was encouraging me to be good in school too, but it wasn't like I was being forced into some box. So definitely, I think a lot of my interests were supported by my mom, which I think, again, this movie does a good job of, so like anything you can do, there's something I always felt, from both my parents too, but like, oh, the world is kind of your oyster. You'll succeed in anything you try at, like those sort of things, helped me kind of take risks in my career and in my life and take chances. Like, yeah, I can, sometimes I do fail, I always, succeed at everything, but if your mom believes that you can, then at least you try, which is that strength that you can get from a mom. And I think this movie does a good job with that.
Totally. No, that support and encouragement and sort of undying belief, even though they themselves might be faking it at times.
Right. Of course. I'm sure. Yeah.
Goes a long way. I can't tell you how many things I've jumped into only because I, got a little bit of an encouragement or what have you from them. So that's a really, really good one.
Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now, or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.